I'm sharing about Solomon, who had more wisdom and more money than any man that ever exists. And he's sharing in his book, Ecclesiastic, about his experience with all the wealth in the world. He says, I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and follies. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. Bottom line, he's saying that I just partied. Then he says in verse 8, for in much wisdom, much grief, and he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. He said that the more knowledge and wisdom that you have, the more sorrow. He says in chapter 2, I said to my heart, soul, go to now, I will prove thee with merit. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity, a waste. Again he says, I will prove thee with merit. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. In verse 2 he says, I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself into wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom and to lay hold on follies, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. He said, I gave myself to drink, to wine, and he drank the finest wines. I made a great works. I build me houses, he said. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards. I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits. Yeah, he was rich. I made me pools of water to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. Wow. He had a harvest of trees he was developing. In verse 7, I got my servants, he had servants, and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small, cattle above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of providence. I gave me men singers and women singers, and delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Skipping, verse 15, he says, then I said, I in my heart, as it happened to be the fool. So it happened even to me, and why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. Solomon is giving us a lesson on becoming or being the richest person that walked the earth. You know, I keep thinking about this guy. He came on CNN, and I don't need to say his name, but I used to envy him. I mean, they would show him on TV, on CNN. He would go, he can travel all over the world. All I could think is, wow, if I can travel all over the world and get paid for it, and don't have to walk away, they'd take me anywhere I needed to go, and that's what he did. Anywhere he wanted to go, and he was famous on television. Anywhere, any country, any island, any Caribbean, anywhere he wanted to go, he had it going on, I thought, in my own eyes, until one day I found that he decided to take his own life. There was a woman that was a designer recently before that. She was rich. She had accumulated a lot of riches by her business, and she decided to take her own life. So that should teach us on this earth today that those things are not enough. They do not give us joy. Now, over 15, 20 years, I say 20 years ago, they had this song out. It would go a little bit like this. I ain't going to sing, but it would go like this. It would be like, be happy. No, what it is, something about be happy. It'll come to my mind. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it'll come to me. I was singing it on my way home today. Oh, here it is. Don't worry, be happy. That was the song, and it was just singing it all through the song. Don't worry, be happy. And I used to listen to it. I'm like, well, I ain't happy. But it said, so they tell us, they say, don't worry. That's profound. Okay, be happy. Well, why shouldn't I worry? Give me a reason why I shouldn't worry. Because if I'm going to die, and even if I'm not going to die, and people are dying around me, how can I actually be happy? And people are poor all over the world. People are starving and are in tremendous pain. And you're asking me, you're telling me in America to be happy. Don't worry. How is that possible when you know there's so much suffering going on? And there's never a solution, or there's never a steps of principles on how in the world can you not worry. But we thank God for the Holy Word, because God has given us a book, the Bible, with 66 books in one, that teaches us and can lead us to a place where we can have joy and be content in all our affairs. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 24, Matthew chapter 6, verse 24 says, no man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and man, and money and mammon. No man can serve two masters. You just can't serve. You can't serve God and serve man. You're going to have to draw the line. It may work for a little while, but sooner or later, you're going to have to make a decision. In Matthew 6:25, it says, therefore I say unto you, take no thought. Christ is preaching to the disciples in a multitude. He says to them, Christ says this, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Christ is telling us that. He understands that we spend a lot of time and then we compare. We want what somebody else wants. Isn't it incredible that different times and different styles come out and we buy into the styles that come out? One style that recently came out, I don't have no understanding of it. These young men wearing their pants down. All kind of people give you all kind of reasons, and I have talked to the young men and they seem to not even know either. You know, some say it's a fetish that was in jail or something like that, but the bottom line is you're wearing your pants down. That's a style that they're doing. And folks are convincing themselves that they are cool. And that is what is going on. We are taking the words of scriptures and the words that are powerful, and we're changing the words around. What is evil is good, and what is good is evil. We are manipulating the words. So we have to be true. Christians have to be true to the words of God. He says, in Matthew chapter 6:26, he says, behold, the fowls, Christ is sharing and preaching, behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them, are you not much better than they? It's saying here, paraphrasing, that God feeds the birds. He's the one that does it. If you spend time and trying to figure out ways to eat, to gain riches on what you're wearing, your clothes and all that, you're spending a lot of energy on things that you don't have to. God said, I got that for you. Then he goes on in the New Living Translation, the same verse, let me read that. In the same verse in the Living Translation, he says, look at the birds, they don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to him than they are? Matthew 6:27, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? Can all your worries do something in your life at a moment? Can it? We are a worrying world. We are always worrying. And I believe the main reason why we're worrying because our hope is in something that we have no control over and is in society. Our hope is in the president. Our hope is in the politicians. Our hope is that within ourselves. That's where our hope lies at. And if those things are what we are to be happy about, then it's not really much to be happy about. So sometimes I think the next step is that we become happy when we compare ourselves to other people. We have a tendency of doing that, always comparing. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to get me that because that will look good on me because it looks good on you. I want that. Oh, I want those rims on my car. I was thinking about this thing about the rims. When it first came out, it's like, wow, shiny rims. Who would ever think of that? That would be impressive. Your rims shining. And they cost like hundreds of dollars. And you really can't see them because you're driving in the car. It ain't like you can look out and see them. But we're saying that if you get your rims are the closest things to the ground, but yet we have folks who are spending thousands of dollars on car rims with their tires. Thousands of dollars. And in some cases, they wear the aluminum ones, and when the winter comes, they exchange them over. That is crazy. Be right back.